Okay, let's turn to the Super Bowl. We've each got some takeaways, things we learned, things we felt as we watched this game play out. You can start for us. What do you got?
Yeah, this one isn't going to come as a shock or anything. It's probably also going to be met with a no duh if I were trying to hot take this, but the Patriots were outclassed. They were simply always a tier below, I think. And it came up a lot of times over the course of the season. A lot of talk about the Patriots schedule being one of the easiest ever. Overall, I believe the easiest for a team that made it to the Super Bowl. I felt that was all valid, and it seems like it was pretty true. I was on record on this program several times saying I was unimpressed with Drake May this season relative to the top tier of the league. You know, not saying he wasn't good or that I didn't think the Patriots were any good. We highlighted a lot of the ways that a lot of their strengths, a lot of the ways they stood out over the season, particularly their run defense. But he had a really tough playoff run, 21 sacks, 7 fumbles, lost 4 of them, I believe, maybe 3, and then 3 scoreless quarters in the Super Bowl. Even Vrabel seemed kind of unprepared for this game. A few questionable decisions on 4th and short, not going for 2, even though it was late, getting out of hand. But, you know, I mean, they were willing to run plays with 40 seconds left instead of just kind of running it out. And when they could have had a chance to sort of get back in it, it didn't seem like they did quite as much as they could have. Seahawks didn't exactly light up the scoreboard either, but it's probably the least competitive no touchdown blowout for 3 quarters that I've ever seen. Really puts into perspective how much better Seattle was when you look at the gems between them and the Rams, and then you look at the effort that the Patriots mustered in that same matchup. Hats off to the defense. It did everything you could possibly ask of one on the biggest stage. But, man, does the AFC look a little bad in retrospect.
Yeah, that's a great segue into my primary takeaway. I agree with everything in the internal view of just the game itself. Obviously, a boring result, but the Seahawks were very good, dominant defense. I'll be able to stomach looking back on it. That's a Super Bowl worthy defense. I think there was a world we kind of discovered that Seattle was a juggernaut here. Certainly didn't feel that way watching their offense. It's like the game was there for the taking if the Pats had any signs of life, which leads me to my primary conclusion. The AFC should be ashamed. I'm sorry. I understand the Broncos were the best team, but even as I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, that Bo Nix injury, gosh, what could have saved the Super Bowl? Bo Nix. Like,
yeah,
this was the state of this conference this year. It was a disgrace. All the teams who should have positioned themselves in a way that this was their year just all fell apart simultaneously. If the Chiefs are going to fall apart and open the door for everybody, I'm looking at the Ravens. I'm looking at the Bills. I'm looking at the Bengals. This is Josh Allen's prime. It is Lamar Jackson's prime. It is Joe Burrow's prime. And those 3 teams combined for 1 playoff win in an AFC that sent Drake May to the Super Bowl and gave Bo Nix a bye before he blew out his leg. It's just a travesty for real fans of this game. And look, I feel like I am not trying to diss on the small market teams. I think we've seen a lot of great Cinderella stories through the years. This Patriots team was not that. This was not a Cinderella story. This was a team that played nobody, showed their true colors anytime they did, and that included on the biggest stage. It was a frustrating result, to say the least.
Could not have put it any better, Greg. That was kind of beautiful to watch right there, the intensity. But yeah, I could not agree more. I mean, the Broncos would have been certainly a better matchup. We also would have still gotten the redemption story just from the other side, and it would have been a better one because they would have been the dog, would have been a closer dog, probably the 1.5 spread type stuff we were talking about before the game. Rather than the Seahawks, who was like, oh, the redemption story, and people think they're going to blow the team out. It kind of takes the narrative away from that. And yeah, I think even one first place MVP vote receiver, Justin Herbert, should have been able to take advantage of a year in which the Chiefs were not there, and just nobody could do it. Yep, I couldn't agree more with you. I actually had to kind of readjust my takeaways a bit for this. Not the first time in our notes that I had to pivot as well. I'll go back to the game as a whole here. MVP up for grabs, I think, in that game, but I do not to take away from Ken Walker. It was well deserved, But perhaps more entertaining than the game itself was watching the live MVP odds move. It was truly fantastic. They were all over the place, swinging wildly, even up through the last 20 minutes of the game or so. Walker was pretty firmly the favorite, but everything behind that was getting absolutely it was like the Wild West, except for a few minutes. Darnold was right there after he tossed the Barner touchdown, but it felt like it could have been a co-defensive win, just Seattle defense winning the MVP, because realistically, I mean, that's what enabled them to just run the ball into the ground, give Kenneth Walker 27 carries, was the defense simply holding the Patriots inside the 50-yard line for the entirety of the game. But there wasn't even that big game-breaking play until the end of the fumble recovery for a touchdown, and it was already over at that point. So it was like probably the least a fumble six has ever swung a win probability in a game. But I'll tell you, there was a good period where I truly believe Jason Myers could have won the MVP as a kicker. I grabbed him when he was plus 1,700. It was still 12-0. And I was like, if this is 15-0, or the game ends like 15-7, 15-10, the only thing that truly held off the Patriots was Jason Myers' leg. Maybe he kicks a 58-yarder, a 60-yarder. But I mean, he set a Super Bowl record for field goals, 17 total points from him. I was like, dude, he might get this. He was down to plus 400, only behind Kenneth Walker at one point. It was the game within the game was watching the MVP odds. It was truly thrilling. Hats off to Ken Walker, though. A very good game for him to cap off a very important season for his future.
Yeah, as a Michigan State alum that got to watch Kenneth Walker for 1 year at that program, he is one of the most talented backs I have ever laid eyes on. And for various reasons, we talked about, Seattle never really wanted to employ him as a featured back. They were forced to in this playoff run, and he delivered on the biggest stage. It was good for him to see. But I also enjoyed the Jason Myers saga. I saw some takeaways from talking heads of like, score one for the conservative coaches. And I don't even think like the decisions to kick those field goals were all that controversial. They were all like 4th and long or end of the first half. Like, what are you going to go for a 4th and 9 instead of take the points when your defense is lights out? But good for him for executing. It did certainly feel at the end of the third quarter, it might have been his award. But in the end, Kenneth had a couple big plays late to secure it. I wish he would have been able to punch in that final touchdown, honestly.
I know he had it too, which is too bad for him, but
yeah. Oh, well. And then I guess on a positive note from the game, the one guy that I do find myself emotionally feeling the warm and fuzzies for, good for Sam Darnold. And this is a lesson, I think, that everything is situational. And quarterback is one of those positions in sports where you're going to get all the credit or you're going to get all the blame. Sam Darnold probably did not deserve all the blame for the first 7 years of his career at 4 different stops. And he probably doesn't deserve all the credit for this Super Bowl winning award, which makes it ironic that my main takeaway from the game is giving him credit. But I just feel good for the guy. I mean, you look at his time at the Jets, he goes 13-25 as a starter. And, he's kind of written off as a bust at that point, bounces around to Carolina, to the Niners. So much was made of his resurgence last year in Minnesota. And, I think he had a huge role in that Vikings team winning as much as they did 1 year ago. No one really felt that way at the time. The story was kind of, well, geez, how are we doing this with Sam Darnold at quarterback? What if we really do get a quarterback? And for him to immediately bounce to another great franchise that clearly had talented players but did not have the answer at quarterback and elevate this team right away while you simultaneously watch what went wrong in Minnesota with the J.J. McCarthy experiment. It's hard not to feel good for the guy that was counted out everywhere he's gone to, including just one season ago when he had the Vikings on top of the NFC North. I just feel happy for him. I do think it's a cool story in terms of perseverance and not listening to the critics and just keeping your head down and trusting the work that one day you'll get over the hump. I also had a text from a friend who texted me at 6 a.m. the morning after the Super Bowl. He's never woken up before 8 a.m. as far as I know. And he sent me a picture from the gym and said, if Sam Darnold can win a Super Bowl, I can change my life too. So you're inspiring us all, Sam Darnold. Good for you.
That's incredible. He's going to spawn an entire new generation of motivational posters. motivational quotes and whatnot. That was it though, right? That was the summary of his what does it mean to you? All that his Super Bowl speech was believe in yourself, and that's it. And I put a note here, like he had a winning record. It was 7-6, but a winning record with Adam Gase as his coach. Like he thrived despite absolutely terrible situation at some point. So hard not to say maybe we should have seen it all along. He really stepped up when it was needed most. And I cannot believe that I did not see a single meme, post, whatever, of him in Ghostbusters attire that said "Ghosts Busted" within seconds of the Super Bowl being over. I was pretty surprised. I plugged it into ChatGPT to see if it would spin out anything for me, and it was terrible. Wasted tons of gallons of water to get a terrible Sam Darnold photo, and nobody else had the idea, so maybe I should have just rolled with it. But
yeah, how dare the AI is letting us down. The funniest tweet that I saw
nothing on the bot
played out, the one that made me laugh the most was somebody tweeted, "Man, Drake May looks awful. The Patriots should probably scrap him and sign JJ McCarthy." It's a good lesson. Don't overreact to whatever you think your nightmare quarterback situation is. I'm sure the Pats will have a chance to bounce back.
Looked like a JJ McCarthy game from Drake May.
Really did. It would have made more sense if that's what was happening from New England. All right, let's twist this a little bit from looking backward to looking forward. So I want to keep it within the construct of Seahawks, Patriots, nothing broader within the league really here. But give me one early 2026 prediction partaking to one of these two teams.
I should have told you what mine was when I sent you the topics for the show, because your prediction was also mine. But I came up with another. I went in a different direction, and I will let you reveal yours, and I'll just save any. If you don't say my pieces on it, I'll mention them. But I'm going to say Ken Walker will be, if not. Don't look. I revealed Greg. I'll just say it. Ken Walker will be the most overdrafted running back in fantasy next year. You had a pretty all-time playoff run here relative to his usual production. Dominated in the workhorse role with Zach Charbonnet out. 4 touchdowns, 417 total yards in his playoff run. Char won't be back until October at the earliest, most likely anyway. I'm not a doctor, but he got an ACL tear in late December. Walker will probably be drafted around that 1-2 turn. Wouldn't be surprised if in 12-team, 14-team leagues he cracks the first round, unless something crazy happens between now and camp, or now in the draft, rather. I just think it's unlikely he returns that type of production. We saw his season-high carries. Was in the Super Bowl, 27 touches. He never even hit 20, which was his previous high in most of his games in previous seasons. He's going to get a deal, absolutely, after that run as a free agent, but he's never been a true RB1 workhorse. Still only hit, I think, 20 carries one time. It was, I think, all season with Charbonnet. I did say none. I think it was one time. If he returns to Seattle, they'll probably mix in somebody else from camp to lighten his load. And if he signs elsewhere, I'm even more hesitant to invest in that in fantasy. Running backs in new situations, you never quite know what you're going to get. Not all of them are going to turn out Saquon Barkley. And I think a team is likely to give him a workload he's not used to sort of justify the ROI on his contract. And I don't think we'll see what we got in the last 5-6 weeks over the course of a season. And that's what's going to be fresh in people's minds when it comes to fantasy draft time, is how the season ended. And yes, so I think Ken Walker will be the most overdrafted running back in fantasy next year.
I see that. I think there's an obvious path for that. They kept bringing up the graphic of Super Bowl winning running backs and, the various performances in the game, production, but also it's a bunch of names that basically disappeared within 2 or 3 years after their Super Bowl win. So much has been made of the devaluation of the running back position in general. And that makes his performance in this game even more impressive to me. To be the best player, to be a Super Bowl MVP and be a running back obviously speaks to what he was and what he's capable of. At the same time, I think you're right. If he goes to a different situation, I could easily see him ending up overpaid in a big market. Honestly, throw him on the Dallas Cowboys and he has a great first half of next season and then disappears. It feels so fitting that that's where this is headed. It'll be interesting to see what Seattle does, though. They love their dual running backs systems, and Charbonnet is good. He's not Kenneth Walker. I don't know if you want to see what Zach Charbonnet, workhorse running back, looks like next year, but maybe we'll see that. Who knows?
Yeah. No, stay away. It's just a stay away situation for me at this point. Very far out from drafting fantasy.
Yeah, right. Okay. I will reveal our collective take here. I think the Pats miss the playoffs next year. And I don't think this is an overreaction. They're going to get the first place schedule. It's going to completely flip the entire way that this team went about this season. This is not meant as disrespect to anyone in the room, and certainly not Drake May, who I do think is a good quarterback. I just think this team was the recipient of so much schedule luck and situational spots this year where they were playing teams either with injuries or teams that were already tanking, and they capitalized. They did not impress me really ever. And I get that that's easy to say at this point, following a Super Bowl run and that type of stinker. But I think we see this frequently. I really do. I think my Detroit Lions got bit with this year, where we kind of flipped from playing the fourth place, third place schedules into, oh, we are the team to beat now. And we lost our offensive coordinator and some pieces are changing, but we're still the Lions. It's like, no, every single game we played some great playoff level teams and the schedule never let up. And by week 15, it just overcame us because we were a flawed team this year. And now it's back to the drawing board to regroup. I sort of just see this coming with the Pats. And I think it's very easy to think when you're a young team with a quarterback like May that this is just, the first of many shots that are coming. New England is obviously a winning franchise. I don't doubt he'll get back there at some point. I don't think it's going to be next year when the schedule flips. Do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, pretty much. I completely agree. I think they punched above their weight all season. Obviously, the schedule luck, the beneficiary of very good scheduling. And, looking at the board, I can see 8 or 9 teams in the AFC who could compete for a playoff spot next year. You'd have 3 in the West, 2 in the North easily, 2 in the AFC East, including the Bills and the Patriots. I mean, who knows if you get a quick little Dolphins turnaround, they could be close enough even just to make things interesting in the wild card. And we saw in the NFC this year, you can miss the playoffs with a winning record and basically tied for first in your own division. So I just think that it comes back down to earth for them for sure. And see the regression to what they probably should have looked like this year.
And back to my first takeaway from the game with the AFC, if you are one of those teams with a stud quarterback sitting at home, I think your front office has to be thinking, we need to go for this. This conference is wide open. If you see franchises that have made coaching changes like Buffalo and Baltimore, maybe round out, get their quarterbacks a little help. I think this is going to be a totally different landscape sooner rather than later.